Chapter 3 of my Philippine story. Today I'm going to talk about a banking issue and an internet issue and what people do in my community for the sake of a few peso. So last night I was trying to trade my salary out of my WeChat wallet with an online trader who then deposits Filipino pesos into a bank account that isn't even mine. Right? Long story. My employer is a Chinese company who insists that my salary is paid into a Chinese bank account that I haven't used in a number of years because I'm not in the country in China. So I have to take the salary via my WeChat to this online trader. Anyway, last night I get this thing. It basically says your Chinese bank account is now frozen. You must come to China with a valid ID and present it at a local ICBC bank. Now my head catastrophizes. Done deal. That's the only other way. That's the only way that I can unfreeze my Chinese bank account, because I have heard about this problem happening to people before. So I take deep breaths. That was yesterday. And I can't sleep last night then because I don't have access to my salary. Of course, I do have some money lying in my Irish bank account, and I have some money in the Philippines bank account, and it's not the end of the world. I can borrow and I can whatever. It's not the end of the world, but my head is making it the end of the world. This morning I wake up early because I had to come back to my tin shack to teach my class. I knew that my main internet setup was down, was unavailable, because it crashed on Friday, and I knew that I had to wait until Monday to try and have that resolved. But my classes on the Friday and the Saturday had worked out fine when I was using my data, so I thought nothing of it. But then what happened was the network crashed and I didn't even have a backup. So I have no internet and I'm in the middle of my class. I'm 30 minutes into my class. It's a brand new class of a brand new semester, and the internet cuts out. And I realize I don't have any backup. So immediately my head catastrophizes. And I know it's like dead air. So that's what it's like in a classroom when you when your internet suddenly cuts out. It's dead air. And picture this, there's like 8 students there. Behind each of the students there is a parent. The parent sits just out of shot so that they don't put you off as you're teaching the class. But they are right there. And they're basically looking at you thinking, are you for real? You're getting paid to teach my kid and then you're gone? You're gone? So I'm running around like this in my little tin shack community. I come out of my house and I say, Jenny, have you got to lend some internet? I need some internet. She says, Connor, I don't have any internet. I'm trying to get the personal hotspot. She's got her personal hotspot on, and I'm trying to get her personal hotspot so I can get some Wi-Fi, so I can get back into my dead air class. I realize at this point that all of the parents are contacting my CM, my classroom manager, right? And she's trying to get through to me, but she can't get through to me because my phone's not working. I have no Wi-Fi. So Jenny says, are you aware about the peso booth up there? In a lot of these little communities, there's a peso machine and you can get internet almost like you're getting a can of Coke out of a vending machine. I've only used them once or twice and I know they have to work. So I'm like, yeah, Jenny, let's go. Let's get the peso. Let's get the internet out of the peso machine. She legs it over. I grab a couple of pesos. At this stage, I have my laptop in my hand and my headphones are around my neck, and I'm frantically jumping around like this, and it's really hot, and there are a million children, as there always is outside of my house, staring at me wondering, what is this guy freaking out about? On top of that, only a couple of yards away from me, there is an area between the tin shacks where there is a plethora of lads in or around the age of anywhere from 12 to 20 something, and at any given time there's probably about 5 to 10 of them, I think there was about 4 or 5 of them at this point. And what they do is they rip apart things like refrigerators, microwaves, and whatever else they can get their hands on to get at the scraps, to get the little metals and the bits of metal and screws or whatever, even the plastic. Rip the door off a microwave. Somebody will give you 5 pesos for that. I don't know how they do it. But there, it's a scrapyard. But it's just a group of guys huddled on the side of the road ripping apart refrigerators. And here's me with my fucking laptop. And Jenny's trying to get the peso thing to work. And she gets it to work, and I get back in to my classroom. And I noticed that my CM had been trying to ring me. But when I get into the classroom, there's still 3 of my students are there, and the CM is speaking Chinese to one of the students, but not the student himself, it's the father. And this father is fuming. Rada, 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 he says in Chinese to the CM. Rada, 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 rada. Well, she's trying to reassure him. Don't worry, it's all right, relax, calm down. I come in. Hello, sorry, my internet, I have it back now. And this Chinese fella rips me a new one. How dare you? You need to bloody well. You should have proper internet. You can't let this happen again, right? Now, I'm probably catastrophizing. It probably wasn't nearly as bad, but because of the situation because of that situation, I'm there at the side of the street in the middle of the Tin Shack community with a couple of lads ripping apart refrigerators, staring over at me getting stick from a Chinese guy who's basically telling me it's my fault that the network is down. And meanwhile, I'm there with Jenny and a gang of kids all staring at me like, what the fuck? And I'm trying to buy pesos out of what is the internet equivalent to a Coca-Cola machine to try and teach the class. Only the CM is telling me that it's cancelled, and this prick of a man is basically ripping me a new one when there's no need for it. And the class was cancelled, basically. And that's 3 strikes. I'm on my 4th strike now. I've had internet problems too many times. It's just part and parcel with living in the Philippines. It's very hard to you need to have your proper internet, then you need to have some backup internet, and then you need to have a backup for the backup. Right? Look, it's my own fault. I apologize to the CM, and I'll have to apologize to the manager, and I probably will lose the class. But the Chinese guy didn't have to rip me a new one. The guys pulling apart the refrigerator and the microwaves probably did have to do that for a couple of pesos. And here's me worried about losing a class which would amount to about 10% of my salary. But realistically, my salary allows me to do so much more than what the people around me get to do. First world problems in a third world country. Yeah. What it's like to be clean and sober in the Philippines. Yahoo!